Let's find out if dip coat makes Plasti Dip more durable. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, I thought we would try this out. It's dip coat. It's a spray that you put on Plasti Dip, and it's supposed to make it stronger, more durable, make it last longer, give it a little bit of a shine. So I thought we would test that out and see if it's true. So first we need to Plasti Dip something, and nothing gets more use out here on the farm than the inside of the wheelbarrow. Now I wiped this down. I didn't do a great cleaning of it, but we are going to pummel this thing with the summer work here. So I've got some matte black Plasti Dip here, and I've got two squares, or rectangles more accurately, and I'm just going to spray that on here. And in this 90-degree sunlight, probably won't take long for this to plasticize, but I'll probably put down a couple of layers just to put down a nice decent coat, let that dry, and then we will hit it with some dip coat, put it through its paces, and see if we notice one side lasting longer than the other. All right, so I've got two identical rectangles there, all Plasti Dipped, and it probably won't take long in this 90-degree sunlight day. You can actually see it's kind of drying there already. But once this is fully dried, we will hit one side with the dip coat. It has been a few hot hours out here, and I thought we would just take the dip coat. The instructions say to take a clean microfiber towel and spray the dip coat onto it. And what I'm going to do now is apply it to the right side here, as we would be using the wheelbarrow. So this is the passenger side. I'm going to go in a crosshatch pattern, side to side, front to back. I'm also going to give it a little extra dose here. I don't think you're supposed to do this, but I'm going to just go back and forth and angle, make sure we get it into all the little pores here. Now I have two identical patches here, and the driver's side one is just the regular Plasti Dip, no dip coat. The passenger side is the Plasti Dip, a few layers of it, and the dip coat itself. So now we're just going to let it sit out here in the sun and bake. So my first impression of putting it on is that the Plasti Dip with the dip coat seems to be just a little bit shinier and maybe appear a little bit darker. It's actually fairly subtle, and it might be the fact that I'm doing this in sunlight, so it's drying off pretty quickly, but it gives it just a little bit more shine to it. So if that's one thing that you're looking for, you might be able to get that out of the dip coat. Now what we'll do is we will just let this sit out here in the sun and let it get hammered by the rain, and then I will use the wheelbarrow. All right, so it's going to sound strange, but I am disappointed and impressed. Let me explain. So I've been using this wheelbarrow all summer, and what you can see here is that the Plasti Dip has held up incredibly well. So as I recall, this is just untreated Plasti Dip, and this is the dip coat treated Plasti Dip, and I have done everything to abuse this. I have moved firewood and yard waste and branches and debris, and I have left this outside in the sun and in the rain and the hail, and I was expecting just to get to failure on both of these in just time when they did it, if it was pretty similar or if the dip coat actually provided some extra protection. Now I will say here, what I'm most impressed by is just the Plasti Dip in general. It has held up incredibly well. You can see actually the painted metal of the wheelbarrow, and you can see I can actually kind of peel up this Plasti Dip. Now what I would say is that I expected it to kind of get cut up by just the branches and me throwing logs and stuff into it, and I was really hoping that this side would kind of show some nicks and scrapes more distinctly than this side, but I don't know that the dip coat does anything, you know, and actually provides any additional protection. I'm not sure that you can put a liquid on top of kind of a rubberized spray and make it significantly harder, but it's possible. Now I will say that this, when I put it on originally, it kind of gave it a little bit of a darker, glossier look. So if that's what you're going for, I kind of like it. So I actually put some dip coat on my car and on my lawnmower, and I like the look. It just kind of gives it kind of a richer look. Now, in terms of just Plasti Dip itself, I am really impressed with it. And actually what I wish I had done now when I first got this wheelbarrow is just Plasti Dip the whole inside, because there are scrapes and places where it's starting to rust and the bolts are exposed, and just knowing that this is super durable, really, you know, you can peel it up, spray it back on, but now under here the surface here is much better preserved underneath the Plasti Dip. So it's just kind of a nice way to be able to kind of protect your lawn equipment in some ways. Kind of a little bit like a undercoating or a truck bed coating, something like that. So listen, unfortunately, after several months of just abusing this, I haven't been able to prove that dip coat does anything other than changes the look, but I have been able to determine conclusively that I really like Plasti Dip as a protectant and for style. Hey, if you want to pick up Plasti Dip and dip coat, I'll put links to them in the description below. Peter from Panda, out.